What's up, Foundation? What's up, YouTube? Man, it's me, your big partner, Cartoon 53 PSA. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that comment, man, and y'all share these videos, homie. Share them to your people, share them to your family members, share them on Facebook, resend them. Cause you know what I'm saying? We got to stick together. You got to let them know. Listen, man. I could jump on here every day and talk about who stabbed who in prison, who punched who in prison, who gambled in prison. I could tell you 50 million prison stories. Y'all done heard me tell them for the last 3 years, man. Prison stories. Told you I could get on here every day and talk about gangbanging stories. Who shot who ran who over, who wrote on that wall, who wrote on that wall, who DP'd this and who DP'd that. We could talk about that all day long. I know I can. But one of the things we can talk about all day long, but we haven't been talking about it, is our history, our past, our culture, our blackness. See, it's been getting spoke on a lot lately in YouTube based off what's going on around the country. You know what I'm saying? But today, like, it's not one of those days for me. Today is not going to be one of them days where I talk about who shot who wrote on who did this and that. Bump that. You know what I'm saying? Today is one of them days I'm finna talk to my young black brothers out there, my young black sisters out there. That's what today is. And it's been like that for the last few days. And it's going to be like that for a whole lot of few more days. You feel what I'm saying? Listen, a lot of people, a lot of young blacks, that live in LA, not just the ones who live outside of California, but a lot of the ones who live in California, they have been up under the interpretation, the misrepresentation that the city of Los Angeles was started by Mexicans because they right next door. You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing you're gonna hear them holler. We taking our country back. We taking this back. We was here first. Blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. That's a lie. That is a lie. They weren't here first. They weren't. In fact, blacks came across the water years and years, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. See, but they hide this in the history books, man. They don't want you to know this in the history books. They want to do any and everything they can to erase black history in America. They want to erase black history around the world. They don't want you to know of the accomplishments that we have done. They want you to think that, oh, blacks are dumb, blacks are slow, blacks are stupid, like we don't have no ancestry, like we don't have no past. Man, listen, y'all. I know y'all ain't getting it out them history books in school no more because they done whitewashed them history books. But all that's fake, man. Man, we pretty much almost built not just the United States, but the world. The world. The first college that had ever instituted around the world was in Africa. When you hear people always say Timbuktu, a lot of y'all don't know. Timbuktu was a school, man, in Africa where they learned medicine. They learned how to do metallurgy. They learned how to do a lot of things that folks nowadays don't want you to know because they don't want you to be proud of your past. They do not want you to be proud of the lineage that you came from, man. We are kings and queens, and we here to stay, and we ain't going nowhere. So now when you hear them talking about we was here first, California was a part of Mexico and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay. Blacks was here. And the city of Los Angeles was founded by blacks, whether you know it or not. Blacks and Mexicans. In 1780, listen, man, in 1781, not Mexico, but Spain. See, this is one of the things they don't want you to know. They want you to think that Mexico has just been this place. Man, listen, Spain went up in Mexico and kicked all of them in their behind. They really did. Spain did that, man. Back then, man, in the 16s and 1700s, Spain had one of the biggest navies on the planet. You'll hear, if you do a little research, just look up, just type in Google the Spanish Armada. The Spanish Armada was a giant fleet that Spain had back then. Now, of course, a lot of y'all, if you're not knowing, Christopher Columbus was a Spaniard. He came from Spain. So look, in 1492, when he came over here with them three boats, the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria, and they tell that big lie that he discovered America. Wow. That's like somebody walking into your house that you live in and saying they discovered your house like you wasn't already there. But anyway, we're not going to go into that right now because I'm quite sure all y'all are aware that that's a lie. But anyway, when he did land here in 1492 on them boats, it was brothers on them boats showing that clown how to get over here. Straight up, man. But they don't want to tell you this, man. You got to dig so deep down into your history to find this type of stuff, man. But they don't want you to know, man. They don't want to give us our props. So now moving back to LA, like I say, in 1781, man, Spain sanctioned 44 families to leave from over there in Mexico and come to California to settle it. I got quiet because I heard my wife talking. But anyway, yeah, in 1781, they sanctioned 44 families to come over here and settle in and start, you know what I'm saying, doing their thing, making a new Pueblo, which that was the word they used at the time, Pueblos. It means village, you know, town, village. And when they came out, those 44 families, man, 26 of the families were black. 26 of the families were black. They don't want you to know that. Mexicans gonna tell you everything but the right thing. That they did this, they did that, when they ain't, in actuality, did spit for real. They ain't did no more than what we did. Then they sit and talk about, oh, well, we had California first. Y'all let the white folks take it from you. You let them take Texas from you. When they fought at the Alamo, that was it for any type Mexican presence in Texas back then. White folks took it like they always do. Same thing with California. But now the thing is with California was sold to them for $5 million. Now, of course, it don't sound like a lot of money now, but back then, in the 1700s, 1600s, $5 million, man, was like 100 million. So, you know what I'm saying? Now, here it is. They sold it, but then they turn around and talk about, well, we want it back. It's ours. We coming back. So they wasn't militarily strong enough to take it back. So they did what I hear a lot of them tell me they gonna do. They gonna take it back by numbers. They just gonna sneak over here, overpopulate it until it's theirs. And they've pretty much done that. You know what I'm saying? As far as I'm concerned, California's a lost cause. They have pretty much done that. But the thing I'm stressing to y'all is, and especially in different states, don't think that California was made by them. No, it was not. With the California, but with the city of Los Angeles, that it was made by them. No, it's not. You got some of them that you got a matter of fact, all of them think that. The city of Los Angeles was founded by 44 families, and 26 of those families were black families, man. We've been here since day one. You know what I'm saying? When it was just the indigenous people, the Indians over here, black people was coming over here on boats, visiting them. But the powers that be don't want you to know that, homie. They don't want you, they say that if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book. And they pretty much almost right. Man, y'all got to get up and get in the books and study. I went to college. Y'all know I did a lot of time in prison, so I took a lot of college classes. I have an AA degree, man, and I majored and minored in U.S. and world history. I've always been real big on history because believe you this, if you know your past, you can pretty much dictate your future if you put effort into it, man. So y'all study that, man. In fact, like, check this out. If you don't want to hear it from my mouth, I let you. You know what I'm saying? I do my research. I have my receipts. This sister right here, she's very, very aware of how things happened back then, and I'm gonna let her say it to you too. You know, check it out.
So let's rewind the clock. It's September 4th, 1781. Long before there was a Hollywood sign, long before the Lakers, the Grammys, or Compton Verses hit the airwaves, there was El Pueblo de la Reina de Los Angeles. That was the original name. The town of the Queen of Angels. And the people who founded it, they weren't conquistadores, they weren't white settlers, they were a group of 44 colonists sent north by the Spanish crown to settle what we now call Los Angeles. They were called Los Pobladores, the settlers. And here's what most people don't know. 26 of those 44 settlers, more than half, were of African descent. That's right. The city that brands itself as the future was actually built by people America has tried to forget. 1981 census, 2 were identified as Black, Negro, 8 as mulatto, mixed African and Spanish ancestry, 9 as indigenous, 1 as mestizo, mixed indigenous and Spanish ancestry, 1 as criollo, Spanish born in the Americas, 1 as peninsula, Spanish born in Spain. Names like Luis Quintero and Antonio Mesa stand out. Quintero, a Black trader from Guadalajara, and Mesa, a Black settler from Sinaloa, were among the founders. They, along with their families, laid the groundwork for what would become Los Angeles. Los Angeles started with Black and brown hands on stolen indigenous land. Now that's the truth. But ask most people today who founded LA, they'll say Spain. They'll say Hollywood. They might say nothing at all. But now you know.
So there it is there, man. I was going to break it down in bits and pieces and sections, but now I just let her play all the way through. So, man, listen, young Black brothers out there in LA, man, have pride in yourself. Don't think that city don't belong to you, because it do. It was founded by us. Way back then, out of 44 families, 26 of them, that's over half. That's over half was founded by this, man. Not by them. But they was there too. They was there too. I ain't gonna take that from, they was there too. But they try to make it seem like we weren't there, period. Do a little bit of research, man. When, you know, I've heard them say in the past that oh well, we helped the Black people when they came to Mexico because of the slave trade. We protected them, we hid them, and we blah blah this and blah blah that. Man, you ain't did nothing. For one, Black people was already there. And for two, we went over, when we did go over there to escape slavery, as they say, we enhanced that place. We built it up and we enhanced it, made it better than what it was. You feel what I'm saying? When Spain touched down, like I say, when Spain touched down over there in Mexico and with the kicking ASS off the rip. It had to wait till years and years and years later. They had slavery and everything else jumping off over there. They failed to tell y'all that, like it wasn't slavery going on in Mexico back then. Yes, it was. And do you know who got rid of slavery in Mexico? Do you know who abolished slavery in Mexico? A black man by the name of Vicente Guerrero. He done away with slavery. Not them, but a brother done away with slavery over there. So that they didn't have to go through what we was going through in America. One of the richest people to ever come from over there came to California. And it's a street named after him. Pico. One of the most prominent streets in downtown in Hollywood is Pico. Pico was the name of a brother, man, that was in Mexico and came over here to America and became one of the richest people to ever come to America. They don't want you to know stuff like that. Just look up Pico, P-I-C-O, P-I-C-O. You can Google it. And you're going to get the whole 411 on it. That street Pico is named, the street Pico is named after a black man in LA. But anyway, man, that's me. You know, I'm always enlighten y'all. I'm always keep y'all up to breast of what's going on with us. In the meantime, between time, man, tell the people you love them. Black people, we got to circle the wagons. We got to get back to back. We got to love each other way more than what we've been loving each other, man. And I'm talking about the FBAs. I'm talking about the foundational blacks here in America. Because a lot of us get it twisted thinking, oh, well, Africa this, Africa that. Man, them Africans don't like us. They next. I ain't even started on them yet. I'm dealing with the Mexicans right now. I'm going to get on them Africans too, because they ain't slick. If y'all think because they skin dark like ours that they have any affinity toward us, that they like us, you're fooling yourself. They don't like us neither. In fact, they might dislike us more than the Mexicans. So yeah, man, we got to each his own, man. We got to get with our kind, circle the wagons, get back to back, and everything that ain't conducive to our program, we got to get rid of it, man. Me, your big partner, man, Cartoon 5'3". I represent the gangsters, homie. I'm out. Peace.